I'm Charlie Kaupke with the National Bit and Spur and Saddle Collectors Association. Good to have you along with us today. We're doing a video to be posted on YouTube for the NBBSCA. And today I'm going to talk about an interesting little spade bit that's got a tremendous amount of age. And going back into the history of some of the real early companies, back in New Jersey actually, and it is the Alexander Barclay company that was started in the 1840s. And it was started along with a silent partner named Joseph Baldwin. They was partners till 1860 when they had an amicable separation or dissolved their partnership, if you will. And Barclay went ahead until 1867 when he sold it out to one of his employers, a young man of 24 by the name of August Buermann. Well, August Buermann, of course, we know the history of that run into for decades and decades. Well, during this time period, this little bit we're going to talk about today was manufactured. Not sure whether it was in the 1860s, 70s, 80s, 90s. More than likely, it was not a Barclay bit, but it could have been a August Buermann. In fact, in one of their catalogs, it looks just like style number 1031. It could also be a Baldwin. It is unmarked, and it has a little under a 4.5-inch mouth, which was not typical to us today, but back then when they rode a lot smaller horses. And of course, the horses carried a lot smaller people than they do today. You look into your old cowboy boots and go back 100 years or 140 years, you're going to see a lot of 6 to 7 size boots. Not many people wore the 10s and the 12s and the 14s that we wear today. But this bit's got a square bars in the mouthpiece. It also has a little bit of ornate decoration in the cheeks, but basically a pretty plain bit in excellent condition with original rein chains. So as we look at that and see the styling of it, it's the basic spade bit style, but it's not the inlaid, ornate things that we come to know and recognize in so many of the spade bits. So this was a signal bit of some type that was used back in the early days, and apparently I don't seen a lot of them, but there are around. The thing about these companies also that I think is an interesting part of our history is that they was in New Jersey. And at the time that they dissolved the partnership in 1860, they had 30 employees. I don't have any record of how many at its peak that August Buermann had, but they had a large factory, and they built a lot of parts, bridle cheeks especially, for the West Coast makers. So what fascinates me about that is the time frame they worked in versus what we work in today. You order something from the East Coast or West Coast, 2 or 3 days, you probably have received it. Then it would have been months. When you think about ordering something in New Jersey, putting it on a ship, shipping it around the Horn, then it finally gets to California to the people that ordered it. But I think this little bit represents an important part of the bit history, one often looked because it goes in a time period that we don't really think about because we think more post-1920 and not near as much pre-1920. So I'm glad you joined us here today, and we encourage you to, if you're not already part of the NBSSCA, that you'll look us up on Facebook, find our webpage, or also go to YouTube for this and other videos that we're making available to our members. God bless.